Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Haven't I told you so many times that everything that's been done before by any army, it's been done in Ukraine? I said this before, and I will keep saying it, because that's the way it is in war when men fight wars. Unfortunately, you will find war crimes, you will find all kind of civilians being destroyed, civilian infrastructure, assassinations, and everything that is bad will happen in wars. There is no such a thing as a clean army or a perfect army or an ideal army. Why? Because there are too many idiots, okay, to be supervised. And not only that there are too many to be supervised, but the circumstances. I said this many times before. The circumstances, they create certain states, state of mind, feelings in ourselves when we fight, and we don't care about laws, regulations, virtues, and all that. Some people faster, some people not so fast, lose their self-control. So what happened now? Yes, the A-50, that spy plane the Russians lost over the Sea of Azov in mid-January this year, was shot down by a Patriot air defense system, by a missile. So this is confirmed finally after what, 6 months? Remember, when these guys are giving you information little by little, piece by piece, they give you information, or they give us information that they already had a long time ago. They just let it trickle down to us. This is an example. When these guys are saying that the Western countries, where now they debated about, hey, we should allow the Ukrainians use the Western weapons to hit inside Russia, this was hit about what? Krasnodar, about Sea of Azov, around that area. Now I have to break the news for you, that is not Ukraine. So these things have been happening already, including that plane, if you remember, over Belgorod, when it was that plane that had some prisoners of war that the Russians were about to transfer to have an exchange with the Ukrainians, and it was downed over Belgorod. That was in Russia. Again, they used Patriot systems, and that was about 5-6 months ago. So when these guys are telling us, oh, maybe we should send, tanks. When they had that, when they first came with that, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't, the decision was already inked a long time ago. So let me show you this. I have 3 articles. First, I have an article from BBC from the 15th of January 2024. Ukraine says it shut down Russian A-50 spy plane. So that was the initial piece of news. And this is that A-50 spy plane. So they downed, I think, 2 of them already. Not the Ukrainians, but anyway, the guys from the West, let's put it this way. So indeed, the Ukrainian military says it had shut down a Russian military spy plane over the Sea of Azov in what analysts say would be a blow to Moscow's air power. Not so fast. I will tell you why. The A-50 has no means of avoiding a missile. Maybe, I don't even know if he has any jamming, anything, electronic jamming machines, or how do you call them? Apparatus. How in the hell is that called? I don't know if it's under the protection of the air defense systems from the area, from the, let's say, west and east now of the Sea of Azov. Nevertheless, that was a hit target. It says Army Chief General Valery Zaluzny at that time said Air forces had destroyed an A-50 long-range radar detection aircraft, and an IL-22 control center plane. Well, this was then. They don't say anything here about Patriots, but at the bottom they say an expert, he says something about the possibly, maybe, could be, blah, blah, blah. He said here, Justin Brook, an air war specialist from the defense think tank RUSI, told the BBC that if confirmed, the loss of an A-50 would be a quote-unquote highly operationally significant and embarrassing loss for Russian Air Force. He described that key command, blah, blah, blah. He added that, he says, if confirmed, he said it would be a very long-range engagement for Ukrainian Patriot air defense missiles, which would stretch, and I'm quoting, the theoretical capabilities of the weapon to the limit. So this expert, it was how they call him, the specialist. He said if it could have been a Patriot over the Sea of Azov, around Krasnodar, they say, but that's a little bit lower. That actually Krasnodar is a little bit south of that. Nevertheless, let's go to the articles that I have for today. And this comes from the War Zone. And it says here, right there is the title. It says, U.S. Army officer confirms Russian A-50 radar jet was shot down with Patriot missile. So these guys, when they say that, oh, we didn't do this, oh, we will send this, oh, we will make the decision, should we do this? The decision has been made already. There are books already written about Ukraine. They're written. They're over there. They did not receive the green light to be published. Why? Because they need some numbers to be added when they receive the green light. Let's say I write a book right now about the war in Ukraine. It stays over there, and with time, more information like this one gets confirmed, and just change it a little bit. And when the green light comes, I published my book. The problem is my book is going to be somewhere down there, hidden, and other, Goldbergs, Kosmans, or Zelensky Steins will be immediately New York Times or whatever, bestseller, so on, books. That's the way it works. What do you think? Do you think they're smarter? No, they just promote it. Why? Because they write your history, and they give you your news, and they give you your laws. Now, what else is over here? It says, let me put my goggles. A US-made Patriot air defense system was responsible for shooting down a Russian A-50 airborne early warning and control aircraft over the Sea of Azov on January 14th, according to a US Army officer. The high-valued aircraft, one of the only a handful immediately available to Russia, was the first of two brought down in the space of 5 weeks. Previously, a Ukrainian official confirmed at TWZ that the second A-50 was brought down by a Soviet-era S-200 long-range surface-to-air missile. So that's why they said. All right, the second one. So it says they have probably about a battalion of Patriots operating in Ukraine right now. I'm quoting, this is Colonel Clementi explained. They have probably about a battalion of Patriots operating in Ukraine. Some of it's being used to protect static cities and critical national infrastructure. Others are being moved around and doing some really, really historic things that I haven't seen in 22 years of being an air defender, and one of them is bop, 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 boop, boop, boop. And the last article comes from Newsweek. U.S. confirms Ukraine's Patriots downed Putin's rare radar plane. Historic. Well, if you bring your shit to Ukraine, the same thing will happen to your planes, and the Russians will call it historic. But the problem is, these guys have a monopoly, and they censor the news. You don't find shit. And when the Russians claim something, these guys don't even mention it. And since you can't access really in Europe, let's say Russian media or others, you are left with what these guys are giving you, which is their take or their truth, not the other that comes together and you have a more understanding or better understanding of what happened. It doesn't really matter how that was hit, but my point here is these guys already have been doing this before, and when those rockets hit the Engels 2 base airfield, where the 295s are located and so on, with how they call it, domestically built drones and rockets from Ukraine, I don't believe that at all. Those are, again, those guys' weapons. So therefore, Russia has to do something about it. What will it do? I don't know. Maybe it seems like, not maybe, it's not like I hope for, but it seems like it goes to the direction of a nuclear detonation, which is probably the Russians will use a tactical nuclear weapon somewhere, and that will probably bring these guys back to their senses, which is back the fuck off. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.